Hidden rooms and secret passageways have an illustrious history, both sinister and saintly. From burial rooms in Egyptian pyramids to the hidden passage that saved Marie Antoinette in Versailles, to Al Capone's notorious secret vault. Everyone from Scooby-Doo to Batman to Harry Potter has relied on secret spaces for suspense and intrigue. These days, homeowners are building hidden rooms of their own, blending fictional fantasy.
I wanted to have something inspired by Scooby-Doo
With their own taste for modern luxury.
We wanted to have it classy, kind of Casino Royale.
Taking an age-old tradition to a new level.
It's really the magic of this mystery of what's behind there.
For the rest of my life, wherever I live, I plan on having some sort of hidden room built into my house.
On the highest point in Austin, Texas, sits Britannia Manor, a 6,000 square foot castle topped with an observatory. From the outside, an impressive home, but inside, there are secrets that rival that escape tunnel in the Palace of Versailles. Built by video game designer Richard Garriott Descaillou, it's a monument to a fascination with secret spaces. And it all began with a boyhood trick-or-treat visit to a neighbor's haunted house.
You actually had to go through a series of challenges in order to get your candy. And that to me was so impressive and overwhelming. I immediately went back the day after Halloween and started building my own little kind of Halloween trick-or-treat haunted house.
Richard's lifelong obsession led to a successful career creating and designing top video games. As he developed on-screen virtual worlds with secret rooms and passageways, he also began building them into his homes. He designed Britannia Manor with a secret 3-story vertical staircase running through the center, from the basement to the attic. Take a good look at this wood floor in the kitchen pantry. To the casual visitor, it looks no different than the floor around it. But this is no ordinary floor. Can you tell what lies beneath? It's actually a hidden door to the secret staircase. So carefully crafted that even the staggered edges of the floorboards don't give away the outline of the trapdoor below.
A trap door goes from here down 3 floors through the house into almost every other room, all the way down to the wine cellar and the dungeon.
The 16 square foot staircase is built into an area that would otherwise be wasted space. By not changing the house's footprint, you wouldn't suspect a thing from the outside.
They're meant as an opportunity for exploration. I actually want people to come to the house and experience it and search for them and discover them and see what's on the other side.
If you could ever find the hidden staircase, you'd find the only way into a very special room. The dungeon.
Now, built into the walls of the dungeon, you'll notice these grave niches. Pedro's grave niche actually is a little hidden cubbyhole that lets you into a hidden safe where the greatest secrets of the house are kept.
Upstairs, look closely at this wall in the library. Very closely. There's a special entrance here, one that opens in a very tricky way. Richard placed 18 sensors under a nearby counter and outfitted a piece of pottery as a key. When the magnetic key is moved in a specific pattern, it completes an electrical circuit, releasing the latch to a hidden entrance to his secret staircase. But Richard's out-of-this-world dreaming didn't stop in Austin. Richard and his wife Leticia have spent the past 3 years rebuilding, restoring, and creating an even more elaborate fantasy thrill home in New York City. Britannia, New York, The 6,000 square foot stunningly restored 4-story Victorian townhouse is filled with artifacts from their extensive travels and hidden rooms and passageways sprinkled like little bits of enchantment throughout the house.
I wanted this magic. I think it's really the magic of like this mystery of what's behind there, or how do you get there?
Richard began thinking about hidden rooms before he even bought the place. He hired a local architect and builder to help take on the challenges of Britannia, New York.
In Texas, we had the blank slate of an empty lot. Here in New York, we already had a historic frame of a house that we then had to be much more clever with the way we re-engineered spaces.
First order of business, massive demolition. Then Richard engineered the restoration to make the most of every square inch, hiding secret rooms along the way. One of them so clandestine that hundreds of unsuspecting citizens walk over it every day. Believe it or not, it's right under the sidewalk. That's right, Richard's favorite room is actually hidden under the front of the house.
As soon as I saw it, I immediately envisioned that this would become our hidden wine cellar and dungeon.
Converting a 150-year-old space used for coal delivery and storage into a room was one of the hardest jobs Richard would face.
The arched vaults of that ceiling had over 150 years largely flattened out, and the steel beams had, rusted through completely.
Workers dug down by hand to lower the floor and allow for an 8-foot ceiling. They then constructed a 4x4 steel cage superstructure and 6-inch I-beams to support the original arches and the sidewalk above. All in all, a labor-intensive 3-year job. In the main house, there are surprises galore. Look closely at this kitchen. That wall of shelves is actually every New Yorker's dream. An extra closet. And in this bright alcove, look really hard. That's not just a mirror. It's a custom door, and it's hiding another secret room.
I realized that if I were to frame this out identical to these other window frames, it'd make a nice little secret passageway.
Inside, a dining room pantry. But not all Richard's surprises are for adults. He and his wife wanted to create brand new secret places for their little girl, too. The space above the hidden dining room pantry once housed an air conditioning unit. Now it's a 6x10-foot spy room designed with their little girl, Kinga, in mind. Accessed by a trapdoor in the bathroom above, it's perfect for their budding super sleuth. When you're tucked inside, you can see and hear what's going on in the dining room below.
We actually always tell people, by the way, this conversation may be listened on by someone in that room over there, just so you know, but it's just fun.
Knowing that there are children who use this space let you take things in a new fanciful direction that I hadn't previously, which was to build things of the scale and appropriateness for children that are actually difficult or impossible for adults.
Now examine the hallway. Somewhere on this wall are not one, but 2 doors to Kinga's bedroom. Yes, this tiny Alice in Wonderland door leads to a 2-foot-high tunnel and into the room.
Kinga likes to go between the 2 doors as her little hiding place.
Kinga really loves her door to her room. It's her size, but I'm sure she'll have fun, just still going through it until she's much older.
And how do the grown-ups enter? By pushing on the bookcase, of course. Creating one-of-a-kind homes for their family will always be at the forefront for these two intrepid explorers.
I'm pretty confident I'll never be done kind of expanding and recrafting these kinds of secret spaces.
Home needs to be, of course, a safe place and like welcoming, but if it can also be magical, then I think you've got it all.
Bye-bye.
Next, more secret rooms and the first man specifically licensed to build them. And later, the secrets that turned an illegal gin joint into a legend.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen. All for free. No subscription required.
Crafty hiding places, secret escape routes, and hidden tunnels were a dream of Frederick Bourne, the president of the Singer Sewing Machine Company. In 1896, long before Hollywood put hidden rooms on the silver screen, Bourne built a castle outfitted with sliding walls, special paintings for eavesdropping, and expertly hidden spaces. Today, nearly 120 years later, the fascination lives on. Tucked amid the cactus-strewn landscape of Arizona is a house with a secret that a dreamer like Bourne would love. Inside this house is a top-secret playroom, so expertly hidden that no one can spot it, no matter how hard they look. Louise Kircher wanted a magical place for her granddaughter Natalie, and she wanted to hide it in a 10 by 12 foot area of her bedroom. Louise wanted the secret clubhouse completely hidden under a heavy staircase. So she hired engineer Steve Humble to create the very special entrance. Steve's challenge? A design for effortlessly lifting a set of steps. He came up with a mechanized system in which a pair of gas struts lift the 600-pound portal to the playroom.
Once the load was neutrally buoyant, then we moved it up and down using this electrically driven linear actuator.
My granddaughter just loves the opening and closing and playing in there.
It cost just under $15,000 to customize the covert entrance to the hidden playroom. The push-button Precision is just one of the top-secret gadgets Steve has come up with. In fact, he's made a career out of creating hidden hideaways. And Steve's the first guy in the country with a specific license to build them. Passageways and hidden rooms have held a lifelong fascination for Steve Humble. When he couldn't find someone to build one in his house, an idea was born.
Every movie, it seemed like, had a secret passageway in it. And I just thought, I am not the only person in the world eccentric enough that would want a secret passageway. And so then I thought, well, you know, this isn't that different from what I do at work, and that's when the ideas got turning.
So Steve quit his job as a robotic engineer to begin Creative Home Engineering, which specializes in crafting hidden passageways. Today, Steve and his team design and build more than 70 secret doors and passageways a year in their 4,500 square foot workshop. They work on everything from secret switches to fully built bookcases, all to conceal an array of the unimaginable.
There's a lot of panic rooms, a lot of vault rooms, a ton of gun rooms. There are all kinds of, playrooms and theater rooms, the odd secret sex dungeon or, whatever. I mean, some of the clients are just, regular people, and it goes right on up to some of the names you would recognize from Forbes' wealthiest people list.
One of Steve's latest projects is a clandestine entrance for a security official in a foreign country.
We're making a secret door that looks like a full-length mirror. This is the reflective surface, and then on the inside of the secret room, it just looks like a vault door.
In the workshop, Steve tests a prototype of stone-clad remote-controlled doors for a New York client so secret that even Steve doesn't know who it is or what the doors will conceal.
I get a lot of my ideas from the customers themselves, and that's where I prefer to get them.
If you can dream it, Steve can do it. Steve's repertoire of new ideas is always expanding. Some of his best work is inspired by pop culture.
Here we've got the ever-popular Shakespeare bust from the original Batman. We have a fingerprint scanner system here. This scanner is hooked up to this electronic system here, and when I scan my print, this electric lock releases. Now all we have to do is take this scanner and hide it inside of Shakespeare here, and voila.
How much can you expect to spend if you want a hidden entrance of your own? Steve's doors can range from $10,000 for a bookcase to as high as $60,000 for his more elaborate designs. But you don't have to be wealthy or powerful to create a secret lair. Just $2,500 will get you a mirrored secret entry which operates without electricity.
You touch the magnet to a certain spot where the magnetic sensor is hidden, which in this door is right here. And you've heard a click. You can push this open and just walk through into the secret room.
Steve has seen an upsurge in the popularity of all kinds of modern hidden rooms. Like the one concealed in this home in Tennessee that's like a sports bar for a secret agent. Somewhere in this kitchen is a super secret entrance. Walk to the end of the hall. Take a good look. That's no ordinary bookcase. One push on the right book is a ticket to a hidden haven. The 480 square foot space is tricked out with 3 screens, moving panels, and state-of-the-art controls, making the fully soundproof room a perfect place to watch a game or 3, day or night, for book publisher Michael Kaplan.
This was the one room in the house that I had free reign over. My wife gave me the opportunity. She said, "Oh, do whatever you want." And I said, "Whatever I want, huh?" You don't get too many opportunities in life to do anything you want in a room.
The self-styled James Bond decided to turn a dated media room over the garage into a clandestine lair fit for Goldfinger. Outfitted not with lasers, but something more functional.
Stadium seating, you know, big, those giant, comfortable lounge chairs. And then I wanted 3 TVs because I always thought of, you know, like a sports book in Vegas where you can watch 3 games at the same time.
Luckily, Donnie Hackett, a one-man construction crew, builder, and visionary, was on board. And he came with ideas that would help shape Michael's dream room.
When Michael first had me come over, there was still a screen on the wall, speakers, visible speakers, and a projector hanging from the ceiling. We wanted to have it classy, kind of Casino Royale.
First order of business, tear out the old. Next, design a hidden door. Quite a feat, because the tight hallway between the laundry and bathroom had no room for one.
So I thought we got to build a door, and if I made the bookcase look square, it would kind of look like a door, but if I arch the top, no one's going to think it's a door.
The bookcase, constructed out of medium-density fiberboard, weighed 400 pounds. So Donnie devised a wheel and track system using PVC plastic cogs to move it along a track on the floor. The track was built to look like a 35mm film strip. Donnie used his own brand of ingenuity to come up with a system for moving his surreptitiously styled door.
I put a belt drive garage door opener in the ceiling above and attached the bookcase to the garage door track. And you have adjustments for how far you want it to travel. I had a pretty good feeling it would work at the time when I sold the idea, but I'd never done it before.
It was a full 3 weeks before mission accomplished. The result? With one push on the right book, the cloak and dagger entrance opens.
So all I did was conceal one of the garage door clickers behind a stack of books. So when you push on the book, You're pushing on the clicker and that actuates the motor.
And that was just the first challenge in building the covert hideaway. Inside, Donnie would face an even bigger challenge. That's next. And later, a secret room so hidden, it fooled the FBI. When standing in Michael Kaplan's kitchen, no one imagines that just down the hall is a room so secret, even James Bond might be fooled. After designing the stealth entrance, visionary builder Donnie Hackett faced a bigger challenge: how to turn a bright windowed room into Michael's dark dream lair. So Donnie dreamed up 2 movable TV panels that would reveal a third screen and hide the windows when in use.
Moving full-length panels that are holding onto television screens was a bigger challenge than I thought it would be, because obviously that television is plugged in, so there's power and cable signals that have to be able to go back and forth. And then it was almost like a mini version of the bookcase. These things weighed a lot of pounds because they're full-length wooden panels.
Using the same principles tested on the bookcase door, Donnie designed a track in the floor, outfitted the panels with inline skate wheels, and connected everything to a second garage door opener above. With all the brain power and custom construction involved, it took this crew of one longer than planned to build the room.
I was the demolition crew, the cleanup crew, the architect, pretty much a jack of all trades.
Our goal was the start of football season, and I think we finished for the Super Bowl. Yeah, Uncle Donnie was with us for a while.
And how much did Michael's secret lair cost?
Will my wife see this?
The fully built room came in at a total of $100,000. And for Michael, it was well worth it.
In the end, after the process, my wife is very happy. So what started out as a hidden room for me ended up to be a great, family room, a great place for everyone to, enjoy it.
The heyday of hidden rooms came long before 007's favorite cocktail was shaken, not stirred. Prohibition in the 1920s brought the rise of mobsters and the secret lairs that hid them from the cops. Their illegal booze was hidden everywhere, from underneath skirts, to hollowed-out walking canes, to hidden speakeasies, which became popular drinking spots for gangsters and politicians, wealthy patrons, and regular Joes. And nowhere were the hidden party rooms more prevalent than in New York City, according to 21 Club marketing manager Avery Fletcher.
On this block alone, there were more than 37 speakeasies.
One of the most famous spots on the block was the 21 Club. Still in business today, its main attraction is a secret wine cellar and hidden dining room. Speakeasy owners regularly went to great lengths to ensure the absolute secrecy of the illicit behavior, building concealed passageways, back alley entrances, and escape routes. When cousins Jack Creendler and Charlie Burns built the 21 Club in 1929, they took it a step further.
Jack and Charlie hired a specialty architect by the name of Frank Buchanan. And he had built this reputation of really fitting out speakeasies and helping these entrepreneurs hide their booze.
Buchanan held true to this reputation, outfitting 21 with a hidden peephole entrance and secret buzzers to warn of a raid.
When the feds came in June of 1932, first they met the gentleman, Jimmy the doorman, at the peephole. He had all these little buttons in place to alert the interior team. He hit one of the buttons and then the shelves behind the bars fell flat and the balls crashed down 3 stories to the sewer system below and were washed away. The shelves popped back up.
One route through the kitchen seems to lead to an ordinary brick foundation wall. Dead end, right? Wrong. Although you can't tell by looking at it, this wall is actually a secret 2.5-ton door.
This 18-inch meat skewer is actually the key. So if you take this key and put it in the right crack in the brick, it'll pop the lock.
This strikes a pivot arm of the lock system behind the door, releasing a peg and 2 steel lock bars, which work with a pair of tension springs to release the latch bolts.
Once the lock is popped, you have to give it a big push to open those 2.5 tons. Welcome to the wine cellar at 21.
In its speakeasy days, the hidden room had a special booth for New York's mayor. Perhaps the most ingenious trick of all, the secret space is actually beneath the building next door.
The feds raided 21 several times after we put the wine cellar into place. The cellar door was actually built in the foundation wall between buildings 19 and 21, and it weighed more than 2.5 tons. So when they would light a match and look for an air current, they saw nothing.
The 21 Club is one of New York City's most esteemed restaurants. While Prohibition may be long gone, diners still love to toast the town inside its private dining room tucked behind the wine cellar. Next, a modern-day crime fighter's lab that redefines top secret location. And later, a hidden room that not even Sherlock Holmes could sniff out. In the late 1800s, Sarah Winchester, heiress to the arms fortune, began building a mystery house in San Jose, California. Believing she was haunted by ghosts, Sarah built an eccentric mansion of labyrinths and secret rooms designed to confuse the spirits and hide her from them. People like Ed Scotus are still taken with the notion of concealed spaces to hide secrets. Ed's a computer counterhacker, protecting governments, military organizations, and corporations against virtual criminal attack. His office, above the garage of his New Jersey home, is decked out in steampunk style, a mashup of retro and futuristic. And it includes a completely covert workspace, imperceptible to the untrained eye. Careful examination of the decor and the walls will not give it away. Cast your eye toward the sentry standing guard and see if you can spot a clue. With one pull on the inconspicuous bookcase, you're in Ed's 263-square-foot modern-day crime fighter's dream lab.
The secret world thing ties directly into what we do for a living.
Ed's hidden room fascination dates back to his great-grandfather.
This is a photograph from 1925 of my great-grandfather. He's inside his secret room as well. His secret room was part of his speakeasy. My secret room's legal, his wasn't.
The idea for his secret lair first took hold when Ed noticed some dead space behind his existing office walls. He called in builder Wayne Dreyer to help him turn it into his fantasy workspace.
We cut a hole in the wall, did some exploratory surgery, pretty much crawled around with a tape measure to find out what the floor size was.
I said, I think there's enough space in there that we can build a secret room.
I thought he was out of his mind. It was not a normal thing that anybody does. It's like a little treehouse amongst, in the middle of nowhere.
Soon after demolition was complete, Wayne bumped into his first challenge. The space he uncovered was smaller than Ed had imagined and would be a tight fit for a functioning office. So Wayne was tasked with finding a way to enlarge it.
The window always makes a room feel bigger. And at the same time, we were able to push the wall out on the exterior of the house. I think we grabbed another foot doing that, recessed the window, and it enlarged the room and plus gave it some dimension.
With limited space to accommodate a staff of 4 computer crime fighters, Wayne got creative.
The only way we were going to fit desks in here that were operable was to actually build them in. So we actually integrated those into the framing like little dormers, and half of the desk is actually in the attic portion of the house, but you still have your area to put your feet under the desk, and you have drawers that actually go into the wall. So he got the full function of a desk space without intruding into the center space of the room.
Like an expert spy, Ed wanted the door to be so completely camouflaged that it would be undetectable when closed.
We wanted the seams to be really tight, so even if the lights were on inside the secret room, you still couldn't tell in the main room that it was there.
Ed found a company to build and ship the perfect door, but it was just a tad too big to get into the house. So it had to be disassembled, reassembled, and installed. And now it fools even the savviest modern-day sleuths.
And if somebody walked up to it and they pushed on it, nothing would move.
Behind that door, Ed wanted even more secrets.
I wanted the build team to realize this vision and make something even better than what I was envisioning.
What other surprises lie beyond Ed's door? That's next. Counterhacker Ed Scotus knew what he wanted when he created a covert headquarters for his staff. The all but invisible space is completely covered by a hard-to-spot entryway. Grab hold of an inconspicuous bookcase, and you're in another time and place. But Ed wanted more behind a super-secret door. With miles of Ethernet cable out of context and steampunk decor, Wayne Dreyer got to work building a place to hide them and created another sneaky entrance unseen by the naked eye. My dear Watson, take a good look at that wall panel. That's no mirage. Behind the mahogany panel, it's the secret room, the communications nerve center and spy post.
And this is something we absolutely had to have. It's the portrait of Einstein, and when we open up this small door, we can look out to see into the main office. I wanted to have something inspired by Scooby-Doo, so you could look through a portrait and see something on the other side.
It took a total of 6 exhausting months to build Ed's dream office, but he'd do it all over again.
Now that I have a hidden room, I can't imagine not having one. I mean, for the rest of my life, wherever I live, I plan on having some sort of hidden room.
Some of the best fictional detectives of our time have discovered the secret lairs of villains. Nancy Drew found one in that hidden staircase, and Sherlock Holmes, with his gift for keen observation, helped save an imprisoned woman in the Copper Beaches. Sometimes those literary influences feed the desire for a hidden room. This beautiful library features classic decor and uniform bookshelves. What you can't see is a secret entrance to a super secret room. Where what might be considered illicit behavior is encouraged.
Ah! Is the most common reaction when people see the door open and the room behind it.
When Nancy, a theater producer, and Jeff, a clean energy magnate, built their ultimate empty nest, their wish list included a space modeled after New York's famous Morgan Library and a hidden room.
As a family, we probably read too many mystery novels.
I always loved The Hidden Staircase in Nancy Drew.
Exactly.
Book number 2.
The 150-square-foot room, outfitted with hookah, cards, and an art collection, also has a secret staircase up to the library catwalk above for a one-of-a-kind view of Jeff's massive literary collection. And it's only accessed through a hidden door tucked into the wall of books.
I developed access to the room through one of the cabinet doors.
Nancy and Jeff called on architect Howard Lathrop to see if he could make their dreams come true.
We asked the question, is it possible to put this room behind something and have it be hidden?
It's a dangerous question, which
we learned the hard way.
Exactly.
No one has ever requested a hidden room.
First, Howard had to find the space. so he adjusted the floor plan to place the room just behind the library.
The second floor cantilevers out over this first floor, so there was, in essence, a niche in this wall.
Jeff wanted the secret space to be a spot where he could indulge in his little vice.
Over the years, Jeff would have an occasional cigar outside, and then as the boys started having an occasional cigar with Jeff out on the back deck, somebody said, wouldn't it be great if we could smoke in the house? And I said, not if we're going to be married for another 30 years.
Nancy insisted the room have just one thing, a way to keep any trace of cigar smoke from entering the house. Luckily, Howard was able to design a layout that included a state-of-the-art exhaust system, which wasn't easy, considering that the home was built into the side of a hill.
On the first floor, there's no outside wall. We need to get exhaust from the cigar room and get fresh air into the cigar room.
Howard paired an exhaust system fan and a fresh air intake vented above the second floor. To ensure no smoke would escape, the room would require an airtight door behind the bookcase. Howard installed a steel door with a drop seal at the bottom. And the result? Not even the great Nancy Drew would detect an escaped smoke wisp.
I think the biggest surprise was that it actually worked.
Next, Howard called on a local carpenter to custom build a wall of locked glass front bookcases that would match the rest of the library. To design the secret entrance took some work. Howard created a system with casters that roll smoothly to move the large 3-foot wide bookcase with 16-inch shelves, which swings on heavy-duty custom-made hinges.
It had to work this way because it was by far the safest. And we also didn't want a track on the floor, so it had to be hidden.
One thing that was not hidden, the fact that this secret cigar room would not come cheap. No matter how long you stare at this library, you wouldn't be able to spot the secret entrance. But all of this secrecy isn't cheap. The cost of the custom metal hinges alone were $300 a piece. Throw them on the fully loaded handcrafted walnut grain bookcase, and we're talking $20,000 just for the one-of-a-kind secret entrance. All in all, it took 3 years to build the house and 3 months of that to build the hidden room. But for Nancy and Jeff, the result has been well worth it.
It is so much fun to have a hidden room. Probably watching everybody else's look of astonishment when they see it is the most enjoyable thing for us.
It has what we call the smile factor. Every time we walk by it, it makes us smile.
Not every secret room is inspired by history or fiction. Tucked into this storybook home is a surprise created by 2 writers. But this idea didn't come from the pages of one of their books. It came straight out of Tom's best childhood memories of growing up in a big house in California.
There were passages that would allow you to go from my room into my brother's room by crawling over a wall into his closet.
The partition between the 2 closets was a 6-foot-high wall, and there was a 2-foot gap above it, and that's where we like to climb over. And we, of course, thought that our parents didn't know that we were doing this, and our footprints weren't any clues.
I just loved the way you could escape without being traced.
As Tom and Laura McNeil's own 2 sons grew, they dreamed of passing that Hardy Boys sense of fun, discovery, and mystery to the next generation.
I realized that if I was going to build a house, I really wanted a secret passage.
I think that Tom had a very idyllic childhood. I was hoping we could replicate his childhood with our own boys, and so the idea of doing that with our house seemed perfect.
So 4 years ago, when they found a piece of property, they enlisted local architect Dorothy Howard to create a 2,700 square foot home. But it wasn't until planning was well underway that Tom and Laura told Dorothy of the unique plot twist they wanted to add to their story.
Tom said, you know, I've lived in houses that have hidden rooms and I'd really like to have one. I thought it was a great idea.
So Dorothy designed a passageway that's hard to discern. Notice Sam's room. Notice Hank's. You'd be hard-pressed to find the secret passageway. Unless, of course, like the Hardy Boys, you knocked on the wall. Because behind that bookcase is a 10-square-foot open shaft, outfitted with a ladder to a secret space above. The envisioned secret passageway between the boys' rooms was a page from Tom's childhood. And he wanted to make sure they could also access a hidden spot above.
The one thing that I knew that it had to have was a ladder. I think that is part of the escape fantasy. You're being led out of something.
Building the clandestine corridor and hideout would not be easy.
The biggest challenge to the hidden room was figuring out how to get access that would leave from a logical spot on the second floor and arrive in a part of the attic where you actually had headroom to stand up.
Once Dorothy knew where the passage would be, she placed the boys' bedrooms on either end. The bookcases flanking each entrance have non-adjustable shelves and a blind pivoting hardware system to hide the hinges.
The fully loaded bookcase is about 350 pounds. Because they're heavy, they are on heavy-duty commercial pivot hinges. They're too heavy to be hung by door hinges or piano hinges. They're built much more stoutly than you would build a bookcase that isn't designed to move, because the racking force of the weight of the books in the bookcase itself is significant.
Dorothy went the extra mile to ensure both imaginative secrecy and safety. One of the trickier details was the trap door to the attic.
This is the trap door that's accessed from the ladder below. It's heavy because it's designed for someone to walk on when it's in the closed position. The latch is a flush latch, and there are these pneumatic struts to assist in lifting the door. It only opens partially so that no one falls through from up above. It was a safety issue. I was very concerned that the hatch not be able to be left in the wide open position and someone accidentally fall through the hole.
Everything about the secret room is in keeping with the McNeil's literary sensibility.
That's how a book has always felt to me, like a secret passageway to another world, to another place where maybe you could disappear for a while.
Providing that special place for the boys is exactly what the McNeils had in mind from the start.
Well, I definitely said the best part is showing my friends and just show them the door, and they're just amazed by having a secret passage in your room, going up somewhere where there's not people.
You're in the temple and there are no worries up there, and you can just do whatever you want and just chill.
In one word, it's magical.